Today is June 17th, and it's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, everybody. Yay, woo, woohoo. Now, look, today I'm going to do a little different talk about some games, because there was a lot that happened at E3 over the past week that I'm super excited about, some stuff that I'm curious about, and other things that it's more on the brim, you know. It's like, why? You know, there's some whys. Probably the biggest thing that seemed pretty exciting was Cyberpunk 2077. That's on everybody's radar who played The Witcher, who knows CD Projekt Red and the way that they make games, because those guys are nuts. They're not a ginormous AAA studio. Obviously, they have a lot more employees than they did when they were making Witcher 1, then 2, then 3. They slowly been pulling in employees. But those guys are beasts. They make amazing games. And they're going to continue to. And from what the press conference said about Cyberpunk 2077, it looks super interesting. The way that it's a dense city, right? And how you can traverse, you can double jump, you can and there was in talks of flying cars, like in the trailer. There's flying cars in the trailer, so I wonder if you can fly around, or motorbikes, or nobody's really sure how that system's going to work, right? But there's a lot of interesting things that people have ideas on, or they probably didn't even show it behind closed doors, because people were still asking about it. Otherwise, they would have probably said something about it. But there's that. Division 2, some people are saying, is the best multiplayer game of E3. It could be. I don't know. The way that they reworked the armor system and things like that is going to be pretty interesting, because there's an armor bar and then a health bar. So instead of it having one solid bar from like the Division 1, to where it feels like, oh my god, this guy's got a lot of health. He's absorbing all my bullets. That's ridiculous. Now it's going to be like, okay, you have to shred the armor down, and then the health bar is going to go down a lot faster. And that's from, sorry, I got to stabilize myself. And that's from what I've seen and what I've read, is it's a lot better. So between that, the added raids, things like that, that's going to be pretty cool. Next up is probably going to be probably Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That looks pretty dope, to be honest with you. I haven't played or beaten an Assassin's Creed game since Black Flag. I've got Unity chilling in my library, and I also have Rogue. I need to beat both of those. I've got a lot of games that I need to play and run through. But more importantly, is this... Oh, the dog's going crazy. Is this something that we really want to do? Is this something that I really want to get into again? Because the Assassin's Creed series is so big. But they made it more like an RPG than any of the other ones. Odyssey, or not Odyssey, but not Odyssey. What was the other one? Odyssey is the newest one. I can't remember the Egyptian one. I can't remember off the top of my head. But that one was the first big jump in the RPG aspect of it. They seem to be taking on a lot more of the myths and things like that, which is cool. But then they still have like that museum mode where you can go and you can learn about it and learn about the area, the time period. Like it's a big giant history book, you know. So I'm curious if they're going to do something similar to that with Odyssey, other than exploring this beautiful world that they've come up with. But then there's that. Next up is there was Nintendo showed off more of the rabbits, which was pretty cool. And Ubisoft seems to be working out pretty well with Nintendo right now. Like they've got a lot of interesting stuff that they're correlating with them with. And then we've got obviously Rainbow Six Siege. That's still running. There's games as a service, and same thing with For Honor with the games as a service. It seems to be Ubisoft's big thing right now. And then with For Honor, that they're also doing the same thing that they did with Rainbow Six Siege, which it's about time that they got dedicated servers. They needed that, because that was the big thing really holding back their For Honor from the beginning. A lot of complaints. They lost a lot of player base from not doing that from the start. It was dumb, and I think they learned. And they're trying to get their player base back with For Honor. And for all the way up until the 18th, or maybe it was the 14th, that they were giving out For Honor for free, the starter edition for free, because they have a starter edition just like Rainbow Six Siege does. But people were saying, hey, this is just kind of like the half-assed version of the game. You're gonna have to do a lot of grinding. to get the good builds, things like that. But if you don't want the good builds and you just want to play the game, I think it's going to be great, right? And then they have the new Chinese DLC coming out, which is the big bombshell that they're dropping. They're adding a siege mode, which people have been wanting. You're still going to have to, it's still going to be 4v4, but you know, maybe the siege mode is going to be interesting enough. I got a sweat bee flying around me. I just spit on my arm. Fantastic. Whew, super shaky camera right now. Maybe the stage mode is going to be pretty dope. You know, we don't know. What else was there? The Crew 2, they announced that. That was pretty big. Microsoft did a huge conference, and theirs was borderline the best, in my opinion. They had so much cool stuff that they announced. We Happy Few, that should be coming out of early access at the end of this year, or soon. Was it the end of this year, or was it April of next? I think it was this year. Pretty sure it's this year. There's also Halo Infinite that they announced. Pretty sweet. That's what I'm most excited for, because it's confirmed already. That's going to be on PC. There were talks and there was like fake news about Halo 5 being ported to PC. I mean, you could already do Forge mode in PC. I don't know what's so hard. Maybe they should do a test run and do a beta, and to really see, is this the direction, or is, you know, use the Halo 5 as like a demo, you know, or like not a demo, but a test for Infinite, which probably won't come out until at least a year or two if I had to guess, right? Yes, they have a trailer and everything for it, but when they announced Halo 5, it took them forever to finally like release that game. At least it felt like it. Maybe it was just a year. It felt like 2 years. They did the E3 thing, and then it felt like 2 years later they eventually released it. But we'll see. Destiny 5. Good joke. Destiny, well, it better not be Destiny 5. Who knows? They're having trouble with that right now. Bungie is, with all that shit that they've been trying to fix. But Destiny 2, the Forsaken DLC, is something I'm still on the edge of deciding on whether or not to get, because it's just something that's really interested me, and I just don't know if I really want to jump into it alone by myself, because I guarantee nobody else is going to want. None of my buddies that I play with currently are going to want to even get into that, which is okay. But that's just how it is. Destiny 2 has always been one of those games that's been really close to my heart. You know, I've been really feeling it, but it's also one of those games that Bungie really knows how to upset the community, and unintentionally, they with anybody making games, they want their game to, oh Jesus, sorry, don't get sick on me. With anybody making games, they don't want their game to be a letdown. You know, they put all these hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of hours into working on their game, man hours. Then you got games like Blizzard, who have put millions of man hours into making this MMO. And of course they don't want people to hate their game. They don't want people to piss people off. Sometimes it is, come on, let's cross. Sometimes it is the marketing guys or whatever, or the higher up guys that make the decision, hey, you gotta add this, and this microtransaction. And it will throw the flow off of the game. You gotta make money somehow, but do it smart. There's a lot of different ways that you can do this now to make money. Come on, buddy. To where you can make money, police the players, and keep the player base. And I think that's what Bungie is trying to do now. You are going to have to hef over a hefty fund. I've got to pay like $60 to get all the DLC. Another $60 this year. I got my playtime out of it the first time. I can't be mad at it, but you know, I really wish it would have held my attention longer. From there, though, going into Black Ops 4. Holy crap, have they pissed off people. Not surprised. To get all the content, and I was watching on pretty good games, or pretty good news, or something like that. Games news, or it's something like that. I watched these guys, and they were kind of saying this, which I completely agree with them. You can look at it from two perspectives. One as okay, you pay $60 for this game, and then for another $40 you get an additional bonus to the game. Or you can look at it from the other side to say, hey, I have to pay $100 for Black Ops 4 to get the whole game, you know? Or I can pay just $60 and get half the game. Because that's kind of the way that they've presented it. A lot of games now are doing this thing to where you buy the game. They have microtransactions. They have cosmetic items in them to make your character look cool, to do different cool things. And it's all based on looks, right? And then you could buy like a battle pass, which is pretty big right now. And then you get all the multiplayer maps for free, or they just keep putting out updates, things like that. But then you have Black Ops here who says, hey, guess what? We've got cosmetic microtransactions. We've got a $40 paid season pass they have to pay for. And they're probably going to slap some type of stupid battle pass on top of it. Who knows? Obviously speculation from me, but they're going to throw something else on there because Activision is just and well, the biggest thing here, look, is that they are going to be separating the community, right? Disregard the battle pass. That's just me talking out my butt. But they do have that season pass thing, seasonal pass, which they're saying they want to support that game longer for one season, which is a year, and they want to put out and they have 12 maps, 4 zombie maps, things like that. So maybe, come on, buddy. So maybe they want to do like a map every month or something like that, you know, to keep the game looking fresh, to keep stuff coming in for the player base. But who knows? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see for that. Man, my left arm is just so weak compared to my right. It's ridiculous. We'll have to see more on that stuff, right? Next up is probably going to have to be Crackdown 3, which, Jesus. They're pushing it back to 2019 yet again. I think part of the big thing of why they had to push it back another year is because of last year's big giant thing with microtransactions. I bet you they had a shit ton of microtransactions in that game. And it didn't look like the city is fully destructible anymore like it used to be in the however many years back trailer that they announced. Maybe it was just last year that they did that. Maybe it was 2 years ago. I don't remember. But that game was originally supposed to come out when the Xbox One came out, from what I've been hearing. From my friendly source, Bryce. So, Vertical Hawk, shout out my homie. But that's ridiculous. Like, that's so long. Why would you wait that long? Or, I can't say why would you wait that. I can say this. I appreciate Microsoft knowing that it's not finished and the developers, and I'm not happy with it because they want that game series. They're trying to turn that game series into another Halo and another Gears of War. They've got a lot of work to do. And, just some people who I looked like they were visiting, and they realize that it's not up to stuff. It's not where they want the game to be, right? If you want another Halo, if you want another Gears of War, they're going to put the time and effort into trying over and over and over again until they get it right. They had it last year. They showed off this awesome. Maybe it was a year and a half ago. Time's just starting to slip by when it comes to games. I'm starting to get back on my news and everything, but they had this fan-freaking-tastic game called Scalebound that everybody was excited for. It looks so cool, man. And then they threw it down the tubes because from reports saying that Microsoft wanted more microtransactions in the game, and the head developer, the guy who was running the project, was like, I don't want you guys to ruin my game. Literally trashed my game. So what do? Which there could be more inside stuff, you know, but to the public you only can hear so much. Sorry about this. Here, wait, I'll pause you guys. Okay, a little better. But, so what do? The studio goes down the hole, you know? There's only so much you can do for people, and Microsoft, and they realized they messed up. They purchased 4 new studios, or 5 new studios, and they're really trying to step their game up. Microsoft is behind. Time to step their game up a little bit. E3 was pretty awesome. Literally, Microsoft showed something like 40, 50 games back to back to back to back. It was just non-stop, and that's why Microsoft won this year. People want games, they want excitement, and Microsoft delivered. So, that's my excitement of E3, what I'm excited for. Please let me know at the bottom what you guys think. Slap me a thumbs up. That was E3 Talk 2018. DiDi. I'm out.